Beautiful new moon energies, everyone. So we are joined today, aren't we, Jeffrey, with newly certified practitioners from the Rising Phoenix Mystery Schools. So they are Aura and R.A.A.H trained. And so we thought we'd do this round table today for all our energies to come together within these new moon energies and just have a really beautiful chat, and for them to share their experiences about their how they found Rising Phoenix Aurora, how they found the modalities that they've certified in, how it's expanded their consciousness, how they've grown, and to introduce themselves really to all of you, and offer their services out. So we will get started. Just to let you know, so my name's Claire, and
my name's Jeffrey.
We are the Circle of Light Healer. And so we trained with Rising Phoenix Aurora Mystery Schools. I did, it's coming for nearly like kind of 3 years now. Yeah. And when
a year and a half,
about a year and a half for Jeffrey. Yes, and Jeffrey and I actually met through Aurora and Zen. So twin flames coming together into union through this modality as well, which is beautiful. And we are just one huge community of brothers and sisters that are coming back together again, because we've been together in many different times and spaces, and we're just coming back together and remembering these sacred teachings. That's what we're doing. We're remembering, and they're just activating again within us, and it's absolutely magical. It's completely changed our lives, and I know those already on our YouTube channel, you already know our story, so I'll let everybody else tell you their story, and I think we'll get started, won't we? Do you want to share anything else, Jeffrey?
No.
Okay, good. Let's get going. Okay, so Janelle, would you like to go and introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your journey?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Claire and Jeffrey, for putting this together and holding space for us to share. This is actually my first time sharing my story with everyone. I want to say thank you to all the other practitioners here and send my love to you all. It's an honor to be included here. I'm just feeling really blessed and thankful. So I would say my journey started as a young child. I always felt like a pain, or kind of not a fear, but just feeling that perceived separation from source my entire life. I just had this hole within me, and I didn't know why. It was just a great pain. So as I grew older, I found ways to numb the pain, which I'm sure a lot of people listening can understand and relate to, with alcohol or drugs. My teenage years, I was pretty much a hot mess. I had an eating disorder. I would like binge eat, trying to fill this hole that like I didn't know I had. So it was a very rocky road for me. And when I was 25, my son was born, and thankfully he helped steer me back onto my like more organic path. And I had a job where I could watch YouTube and like work all day long. So I discovered the spiritual community, and it started like speaking to me, and it started feeling like home. And I realized like, oh, I have a purpose. What is my purpose? And I started like digging deep and trying to listen and like receive messages. And one night I remember I, from my higher self, received like, I am love. Like I remembered like that love is who I am, it's what I am. And they told me that I'm a conduit for God's love. And I felt that so like hugely, and it really changed my life. And the more I like felt into that, I kind of felt like, oh, I'm supposed to be like using my hands to help people heal. But I didn't know what that meant. I was like, like Jesus did, because I grew up in the Catholic setting. So I had a connection, thank goodness, to Yeshua and Mother Mary, like so strong within me. So this was like 15 years ago. And for the past 12 years, 12 years of that 15 years, I was a healer without an art. I never resonated with anybody until I found Aurora, because she is the most purest, like infinite love, and her ego, like you don't see it. It's not around. She just like brings through so much pure love and light. And when I saw her the first time, her eyes filled with tears because of the love that she feels for everybody else. I was like, that's it, that's me. Like, that's how I feel. And so I knew I was in the right spot with Aurora. So in 2021, I signed up for the R.A.A.H Reiki training. I homeschool my 3 kids, so I don't have a lot of time to work on myself. But thankfully, with the R.A.A.H training, it was self-paced, so I was able to work at my own pace, and it took me a year to get through it. I had so much clearing and healing to do on myself, but this is self-healing. Like, these teachings empower you, and they enable you to continue the healing beyond just your first session. So I met with Aurora right away to do a Reiki attunement, and she was able to get me clear enough that I could do the digging and do all the deep work myself. So for the first year during my Reiki training, I released so much stuck trauma. Like, I would be trying to sleep at night and I would have like embarrassing memories from my past like popping up, and it was just like so much coming up for clearing. And I really feel like when you say yes to the trainings or a session, your angels and your higher self immediately like jump on that opportunity, and they start like just clearing things for you, and all this stuff just comes up so you can let it out and like finally let it go, like lifetimes of stuck trauma. So if anyone out there is feeling like you don't know yourself, if you're feeling like just heavy and like you can't feel that love in your heart, it's in there. It's who you are. It's within you. You just have so much layers and layers of experiences that you haven't been able to let go of. And so I think that's pretty much all of my story right now. I'm R.A.A.H Reiki certified. I'm taking the Isis Priestess course, and I intend to do the Aura past life regression training in the future when things are a little bit like calmer for me at home. But I just want everyone to know that there is no greater joy than uncovering your true self and being able to connect to the divine. Like, when you can just sit and get quiet and they like come in and give you messages, or even if you can just feel that love in your heart, it's everything. And I feel like that's what everyone is searching for. And it's like right here, it's available for us. So I want everyone to know that, like, when you say yes, it's going to start the whole process, and it's going to happen. It can happen for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sister. Beautiful, beautiful experiences and sharing. It certainly does. As soon as you say yes, like you say, it's just wild in the most organically beautiful way. So yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Aggie, did you want to share next?
Greetings, everyone. It's great to be here today and sharing these great organic teachings that Aurora has brought to us. I have been practicing for a bit of time now, and it has transformed my life. What first brought me to this modality was my own personal healing. I needed to take the for my work, and that's what led me here, because as soon as I had them, it was very painful, and but I was able to clear it, and since that time I have cleared many things into our organic self. And that's the beauty of this modality, is that we're all living and creating from moment to moment, and you'll get in touch with that. And it's just a beautiful bridge to energize yourself and heal yourself, your true organic self. It's a spa for your soul. And the friendships and the kinships you will make. And as you do this transformation and healing, it ripples out into the universe. All of a sudden, like I say, people say to me, "Oh, you've changed. You're so, for the better, for the better." You will start reflecting out For there's so much beauty here on this earth, and we all want to embrace it. We do. We don't want this crazy, demonic, malevolent beings that are there. We don't want them to, affect us. We want to bring that balance and clear the darkness and energize ourselves. And this will allow you to do that safely, with the archangels, with you'll connect with crystals that may call to you, or herbs, or there's so many different things. We're all beautiful diamonds, and we just need to shine that light, bring it, be it, do it, live it. I'll tell you one really fun thing. The other fun thing we do through the practice is we do group sessions, group auras. And in this one session, I was struggling with something where I was trying to fit in and felt like I wasn't fitting in, a common theme for all of us. And my higher self came to me and said, be the giraffe. I'm like, be the giraffe? Yeah, be the giraffe. And then as I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, you think about how the giraffe travels through the world. They're like up above, just taking it all in. And they're so graceful. You ever see how graceful a giraffe is? So it's like, okay. So, I love the humor. There's always humor. Because, we all have those moments in time where, we struggle a little bit. There's moments where we shine, and those are great. But those moments where we struggle, we just need to get that little bit of kink out. These modalities will help you. I highly recommend to embrace and partake in these modalities. And I thank you. Thank you to everyone who's here. Thank you for all the sharing and all the beauty that we're bringing into the universe.
Oh, Aggie, I could listen to you all day.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful, wasn't it? Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And you're very activating. My third eye is like, whoo. Very activating. Thank you for sharing. And but already that common theme of the reason why we come is that self-healing, isn't it? That's the reason why we come and find Aurora, learn these teachings, and wow, healing from the that's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
and I've been very lucky to see giraffes insofar in Africa, and yeah, they're very happy. Yeah, they're good.
Amazing. Thank you, sister. Okay, then I think we're gonna go to Nu. Are you okay to share?
Yes, I can share. Thank you, Claire and Jeffrey, for hosting this roundtable. Really happy to meet you in person during the retreat in May, and of course seeing Aurora. Yeah, so a bit about my background. I did not have any traumatic experience that I recall happened during my childhood, but I can feel there's a lot of disconnection between myself around other people, and also the connection that other people are having. And I instinctively know that this is not how life is supposed to be. I also just observe and see a lot of synchronicities happening around me, and just questioning, mathematically, this is not possible. What are the chances of all of these things come together so beautifully and manifest? So there's definitely an unseen driving force around it. And when I was a teenager, I remember I was listening to a lot of metal music, and I listened to many songs about phoenix and dragons and kings and queens. There are many bands that sings about Atlantis and Lemuria, Kabbalah, and at the time I didn't have any knowledge about these, but something from the music and the lyrics really called my soul, but I couldn't explain why. So now it makes sense. So I first came across Aurora just watching the Laura Eisenhower show. At the same time, I was watching a lot of guests coming on the Regina Meredith on show on Gaia TV, and many people would mention Dolores Cannon. So I have to do some research on this woman, and I was completely fascinated by her work. It's just so much love, beauty, and wisdom and dedication in her work. And at the time, I wasn't interested in going through a hypnosis session, either as a client or practitioner. But then I came across A.U.R.A, and I was very curious. And I also read about A.U.R.A connection with Dolores, and so I was extra curious. So I'm just like decided to sign up and let's go. But interestingly enough, I was visiting my dream journal after the retreat, and the year before, I had a dream that I was going to go through a hypnosis by a woman. And in that dream, I was scared quite a bit, but I know I have to go through it. So I was able to calm myself down. So since then, it has been so amazing. The retreat itself is such a multi-dimensional experience. Sometimes I just wonder, like, what actually happened there. And seeing A.U.R.A in person is really a blessing. You know, it's especially like through her eyes, you can see and feel the energy. It's very, I would say, like deep, like just like deep into your soul, that I haven't come across anyone like that. So it's very heart activating to be around her, to feel her energy. So highly encourage, you know, everyone to come and meet her in person if you can. And of course, all the people around the retreat was amazing. I feel instantly like connected, feeling protected energetically. And that has never happened in my life. So I would say that I really love how after the retreat, the teachings doesn't stop there. It just kept, you know, like updated. A.U.R.A keeps sharing the materials with us through her live video every week. You know, sharing her takes on what's happening around the world. And I feel really empowered by the work that she's doing. And everybody who is practicing this technique, because we have all of the power. We are the one who can write history. We are determining it's like A.U.R.A's book. We are part of the galactic soul history of this universe. So it's time that we take back our power, sharing our stories, sharing the love with Mother Earth, with the children, with the animals, and taking back the organic timeline and the blueprint of this beautiful universe. So that's what I want to share today. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. No, and it was incredible to meet you and everyone else. Latoya as well was there, and wow, super activating, like you say, to meet A.U.R.A. That pure heart energy that you feel through the screen, but when you meet her in person, it's hard to describe the pure love, isn't it?
Yeah, it's her pure love, but also her fierceness as well, her organic fierceness, to see that as well.
You feel protected, don't you? You know, when you go to those retreats, the reunions, and she's holding this sacred space for us, and you feel just divinely protected, which is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. With all the work that we're doing, you imagine all the light workers, all the light warriors, all the A.U.R.A practitioners, all the different sessions that we're doing and assisting, and then you really start to truly become even more empowered, don't you, with the work. that all the teachings that Aurora's you know, offering. So yeah, I just thought I'd add that in.
Yeah, no, I find that I found that myself when I did all the teachings. You know, the homework, the recorded videos, the sessions from Aurora's, even going on the weekly or the monthly her YouTube catch-ups and all that. They're just so activating. And a lot of the time when you have questions, and even if I wasn't brave enough sometimes to ask a question, someone would ask that question, or I'd get the answer just by watching, you know, everyone coming together in that space.
Yeah.
Even on a YouTube Friday live video or something. So it's just so empowering, isn't it?
Yeah, like New said, it just doesn't stop. The teachings don't stop.
They
They
keep
carry on.
upgrading and upgrading, don't they? You know, the more I see it as the more you can unlock in yourself, the more it unlocks in everything we've already learned. It sort of reveals itself more to you.
And then you learn so much with client sessions, a huge amount. They are super active. They are our biggest teachings is client sessions. Absolutely phenomenal. So yes, I will pass the mic over if you like to Latoya. Would you like to go next? Sophia's Garden.
Sure, yes. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. That's where my story begins. It begins from me wanting just to be able to breathe lighter. On my journey, I experienced a lot of suffering. And I just reached a point where I said, I knew I didn't have to live this life of loneliness, this life of long suffering. I felt like a long suffering woman for a very long time. As a kid, I felt like I was just always sad and, depressed. And I remember having an experience with the doctor who said to me, well, why don't you consider taking, some type of medication to maybe lift my spirits, because I could feel and was feeling so heavy. And I said that was a moment for me of teaching, in fact, because I said, oh no, I don't need that. I don't need a medication to alter my state. And that kind of set me on a path of me really, going inside and exploring me. And in doing that, I came across a lot of knowledge and information that I had within that I really didn't fully understand that I had. And so the more that I journeyed within and started asking questions, why am I feeling this way? It then turned into, how can I feel better? And then from there, I invited in the divine. I invited in my guidance. I invited in all of my divine team to aid me in being able to get out of the cycle of suffering. There was no more that I needed to be angry. I didn't need to have resentment. I didn't need all of those lower emotions. But this was a journey that took me through all of my 20s. It took me through really when I had my son in my late 20s. He came in and he just, from onset, has been my biggest teacher, teaching me to be patient with myself, as well as learning to go through the process of forgiveness. And so prior to getting to A.U.R.A.'s teachings, I started to go through this process of forgiving myself, of letting go of all of the decisions that I had made that were not decisions in my current state at that time that I would have made. I had to learn to forgive myself and accept that I did the best that I could with where I was at that time. And upon doing so, I discovered grace, and grace for myself, and allowing me to go through this journey of life without judging me, and instead understanding that every choice, every decision, should I choose for it to be, was a lesson for me. And so I started to look at everything at that point as, it's a lesson. What is this here to teach me? I'm feeling sadness right now. Okay, sadness, what are you teaching me? What am I not seeing? What am I not learning? What am I not understanding? And so I got to a place where I was evolving in my soul, and I started to feel more comfortable, more free, more light, more energized. And then I reached a moment where I made yet another choice that I had to go through this process of forgiveness with. And for me, it was the election of 2020. And in making the choice that I made at the time, I learned after the fact, because I just had a knot in my, oh, it's just like once I did it, I knew I couldn't go back because I did an electronic ballot. So I couldn't say, oh, I made a mistake. Can I get another? And immediately, what it did for me was it allowed me to then once again go within and uncover more layers as to why I even got caught in that programming once more. And that was the moment when I realized, oh, you have been stewing, Latoya, in a cycle of suffering. And this cycle has been going on for a very long time. And now it is time for you to release all that has gotten you to this point. I then, in 21, January of 21, I did a Google search, and I was searching for a name that was very special to me, is very near and dear to my soul. And upon doing so, I come up on a channeling of Aurora's. She was the first person, the first video, the first web address that was on that Google search. And as soon as I looked at the Google search and I looked at her video, just the imagery, I immediately connected in and I knew it was the truth. And I said, okay, this woman is the real deal. I'm going to listen to what it is that she has to say. And that has started the journey. It initially started with me with the archangels and watching Aurora's videos of the archangels channelings. Every channeling I would grow, I would release even more and heal even more. I would watch her videos of the aura sessions that she has done, and it would resonate with my soul, yet I still felt uncomfortable. And I mention this because so many people look at her videos of the aura sessions and you're uncomfortable. And that discomfort, it rises because that's something within you that's resonating with it, that is an indicator that you need to release. I started to make, during my process, I have made releasing a huge driving force for me. It's something I do all the time. I'm willing to release whatever needs to be released because I no longer want to live in that density. And so I just wanted to mention that because I know someone listening to this, you will watch some of the videos and you will feel very uncomfortable. You may want to reject the information that is being shared as though it is not correct and it is not true. Yet within your soul, you know that it's true. And that was what I listened to. And even through the discomfort, I continued to listen to her sessions. I heard my higher self say, from the moment that I listened to that first video, that you will be doing this as well. And I said, oh no, not I do this. You want me to, facilitate these type of sessions? Oh no, I'm not ready. But yet, because I knew that I always ask for divine guidance in every decision that I make, I knew that that was true and that I would, but I wasn't ready. And my higher self and my team has been very, very, very patient with me on this process. But my journey of growth still was continuing. And I listened to the videos every Friday, or I would listen to the recordings if I couldn't make it live. And I became a student of her YouTube channel first. Just again, listening to, she's got hundreds of sessions on Rising Phoenix Aurora's YouTube channel. And I would just listen to whatever my heart called out to. It became, instead of looking at regular TV, her YouTube channel became my television. It became my weekly news update. It was how I found comfort on this journey, because as you release the density within, you're going to feel uncomfortable. because that's more shadow work that you have to do. And as we continue to do that shadow work, that's how we lift our vibration up higher. So fast forwarding, I get to a place where I just no longer cannot go to the retreat, because I started with the Isis Priestess course. And I did that last year. And once I did the Isis Priestess course, I grew so much. I grew. I recommend everyone begin with the Isis Priestess course if you're uncomfortable with the idea of you even facilitating an A.U.R.A, because oftentimes we have to go within first before we're able to then aid others. And so I allowed myself to put me first, and I did that with the Isis Priestess course, and I just grew and grew within my soul. And then came the opportunity to do the Quantum Galactic Akashic reading, of which I became certified through that modality as well with A.U.R.A, and still was facing some doubt within me that, maybe I'm not ready to do readings. I wasn't someone who ever identified as someone who channeled or was able to give information in that way. But again, I stayed in and I booked a session for myself. I said, well, let's release whatever this doubt is. And so I booked a session with A.U.R.A and had my first A.U.R.A session, and my mind was busy. Oh, she was everywhere, all over the place. And it took me time to be able to fully connect in and allow the information to organically flow through. But upon leaving that session, once it ended, I knew it was time for me to become certified. And so I booked my certification training, of which I just become certified for A.U.R.A and R.A at the Eureka Springs retreat that was just held this past May in 2023. And it's been a beautiful ride ever since. If there's anything that I'd like to share before we end, it is that none of us have to remain on this cycle of suffering. Whatever it may be, however we identify it, we do not have to remain on it. It is a choice that we each individually have to make. Our sovereignty, our free will is very much honored and respected and loved throughout the universe, throughout the multiverse. So it will not be forced upon anyone. But when you're ready, we've got a beautiful family of A.U.R.A practitioners on aurapractitioners.com that can aid you in being able to release and free yourself from the inversions, from all of the suffering that you may call alcoholism or addiction or depression, mental illness, sadness, loneliness. It's not something that we have to endure. That is not a part of our organic matrix, our organic construct. And so when we're ready, the teacher always appears. And that is where A.U.R.A comes in for me. When I was ready, she appeared, and she has been there every day, whether it's been through a video or through a live channeling or through going to a retreat or now on aurapractitioners.com. So that is my journey that I wanted to share. I am now offering sessions for both R.A as well as A.U.R.A and now Quantum Galactic Akashic readings. You can find me at on aurapractitioners.com, absolutely. But you can also find me at sophiasgarden.online, and you will be able to book a session with me if your heart aligns with mine. Thank you, Claire and Jeffrey, for allowing me to be able to share my journey and sharing this beautiful space that you are holding for us. I love you all dearly. I honor you and I respect you. And I am so grateful for you. Grateful to be on the journey with you. Voluvia.
Hallelujah, sister. Beautiful show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It totally resonated with everything you were saying, Latoya, about the cycle of suffering with my own experience of being on that cycle, basically till I met A.U.R.A. So over 40 years, you know, since a very young child. So yeah. But yeah, I did the ISIS priestess course as well, and that's when I first met Latoya on that course, wasn't it? That was the first course I did, and I did that for that same reason, being so full of fear. I thought I couldn't do a live one, and I certainly couldn't do the auras or the RAs. But like you said, Latoya, there's been a few things since I started the journey, just before I met Aurora as well, doing other modalities, that being uncomfortable and knowing that, you know, something's coming up. I'm not really sure what it was, but also, like you said, the higher self saying you have to push through this, because that's how you're going to clear it, by facing it and doing your shadow work. So yeah, so thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And there is so many different ways that you can be trained through these teachings, because Aurora offers live, she offers mentorship classes, she offers reunion retreats,
Online recorded.
there's so many different ways that you can learn. Like for instance, Jeffrey did the live. I actually did trained through the mentorship program, because I was working full-time at the time, mother of 3, and I couldn't fit the live class in at the time, so the mentorship in my own time. And it actually, like Janelle, it took me a year to finish my mentorship, because I kind of fast-tracked the Aura and the Ra, started like offering services, then I didn't have the time with everything I was doing to finish the Isis priestess, but then I managed to, when I was ready, finish it all off. So that's the beauty. You can just do it as and when, or you can do it in a live. So yeah.
And just wanted to say that again, obviously, you know, because being so full of fear that I was, you know, even to have a online one, but it was all pre-recorded, you know, if she hadn't, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to do a live one, you know. But so in the end, by doing it like that and doing it online, and I could sort of like hide behind the fact that it wasn't live and it was online, eventually I was able to get the courage to then do my Aura and Ra online in a week-long course. So
yeah, I didn't have the courage to do a live course. That's the reason why I didn't do it. And now, you know, nearly 3 years later, we'll be able to sit here
we're doing a
together.
roundtable.
We're doing a roundtable with everybody, but I couldn't even do the live course because I was too shy. And so yeah, that's how much, you know, we are activated. So yeah. Okay, I would love to go to so Raven and Callie. I know you don't want to go together, but I know that you two are doing so you've collaborated some work, haven't you? So I don't know if one of you wants to go first and then the other one follow. Raven, do you want to go next?
Yes, I'll go next. And yes, Callie and I are doing some work together, and it's so exciting and fun. And I'm really pleased and honored to be able to work with Callie. She's awesome. But anyway, so a little about my history. I was born into a medicine family, and I studied under my grandmother. I also studied under 3 different medicine men from 3 different tribes. I was in a Yushushiki Ryoho Reiki master, and then a tragedy happened in my life and I walked off my path. And recently I have, within the last couple of years, I have walked back on my path, and I started taking classes in clinical hypnotherapy, and I passed and finished those classes, but I was like, that's just not me, you know. So I started looking around, and within the synchronicities, I got to watch an aura practitioner on one of the YouTube channels. And I immediately, when I saw that, I was like, that's what I want to do. That's me. That's, I'm not this clinical person, you know, never have been all my life. So it led me to Aurora. And I was just, the minute that I saw her site, the minute that I saw her YouTube channel, I started, you know, watching her YouTube channel, and so honored and blessed that I have found it. And I'm taking the Isis Priestess course. I am an Aura practitioner. I am also a Ra Reiki. I'm working on my Akashic readings. I am just honored and blessed to be here again today. And I love all the practitioners. It's so nice to connect with them. I learn from different practitioners, and once you open to another practitioner, and I learn so much about myself, especially with the reflections that I get, because, you know, we mirror ourselves totally. I would suggest anybody looking on a spiritual path to think about going to Aurora's site and finding their spirit, finding themselves, doing the work on myself, and coming back on my path to spirit is wonderful. And I have met some really great people through there, especially Miss Callie. And we're doing our YouTube channel. We're starting our YouTube channel in August. And my website is ravenshealingarts.com. And I'm just, thank you for letting me be here. And thank you for all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. I was just saying it clear, Raven. I could really feel that in my heart. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very heart activating.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Looking forward to connecting with you further with your YouTube channel. I'd love to hear more about your story as well with the medicine. That sounds wow. Oh yeah. If you do share it at any point, that would be incredible to listen. Yeah.
We'll be sharing it on the YouTube channel because both Callie and I have backgrounds in shamanism, and she has this yoga and Ayurveda, and just our backgrounds just kind of mesh together, I feel like. And you know, I'm older and she's younger, so it's a good balance.
Beautiful. Yeah, we were looking forward to that. Thank you for sharing, sister. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Callie, so you're doing something together at the moment. Are you doing podcasts?
Hi, I'm Callie. Yeah, so we are going to be doing a podcast video YouTube channel, and it's going to be called Raven and Callie Goddess Show. So you can find my website at bio.site, site/Callie Marlier. And there you can find our podcast and my homepage. And I'm offering raw Reiki sessions and aura hypnosis sessions. And then please subscribe to our channel. We're going to interview a lot of cool metaphysical people and all sorts of topics. So, yeah, very excited. And thank you all for putting this together. I just love these roundtables because they're so charged with so much energy. And it just, listening to your voices always activates me. It's beautiful. So yeah, I have always been on a self-healing journey. I remember being 5 years old and like hearing from my higher self that like I was gonna save the world. And I didn't know what that meant, of course, but I've always been like trying to figure it out. And so I just realized, like, you know, I was in elementary school. I was like, well, but who am I? Like, what does it all mean? You know, and my parents, they homeschooled me, and so I got to be the director of my own education throughout my whole life, and lots of that time was spent in nature. And I feel really lucky because it always kept my imagination alive. And I went to California and went to college there. And then I was also building like
30-foot tall art sculptures that were on fire, and just having so many adventures and being very creative. But through the whole thing, I'm just trying to figure out how to heal myself. And I was doing martial arts, and that was a big avenue for me to heal. And one of the big tenets of martial arts is integrity. And I feel like I took that with me. And that's actually why I was drawn to A.U.R.A.'s modalities, because of her entity removal portion of these modalities. I feel like it allows us all to be doing our shadow work and really getting to the root of the issues that clients are coming to us with. I feel like that's what gives it integrity. And I've been waiting a long time to find like a modality that I could work with that had that like component to it. So it's so beautiful. I've also gotten to travel to India and study yoga and Vedic astrology and Ayurveda. So it's just been this beautiful journey. And then I was also really stuck. Like I had a trauma in my childhood that created like a block of my voice. And so it wasn't until I was in my own aura session last March where we took out an entity, energy blockage in my throat chakra. It wasn't until then that I felt like I could do these things, that I could talk to lots of people over a YouTube podcast, or even just explain what like my purpose is in the world. And I also feel like I've realized through this work and through doing sessions for other people that my purpose is actually very simple, and it's just to be me and shine my unique light into the world. And it's actually like that's what yoga teaches as well. It's just how to like know your own soul and shine that light into the world. And so just everywhere I go, I try to remember that it's simple, and I just do that like the best I can. So yeah, I think that's all I have to share. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you, Donna, for the introduction as well. Yeah.
Oh, it's certainly our honor to have you here,
Thank you.
Kelly. Such a beautiful, pure energy, and to be homeschooled must have been just wow, incredible. To be homeschooled and you know, not taken into the system. And I can imagine that, wow, the imagination it's you know, well, that's probably why also I bet your art, I mean, I follow you on Instagram and I love your posts. You have like Callie's kitchen, and then you're doing because we're growing lots of vegetables as well, so it's nice to see like, oh, Callie's like Jeffrey, oh look, Callie's grown this. And we're like, and like, you know, just to have a look and watching your yoga, and because that is all part of the teachings as well, is our, you know, diet. A.U.R.A teaches us about clean eating, healthy eating, organic eating, about the yoga, about how important it is to do these other like the morning routines, our shielding, and there's so much more than because, you know, what we would think of, okay, this is how you can facilitate a past life regression. This is how you can facilitate a Reiki. There's so much more to it. It absolutely expands the whole of your routine, your life, it's just absolutely incredible. So yeah, thank you so much, Kelly. Okay, so Megan, would you like to go next?
Sure, why not? Okay, I ramble a lot, so if I ramble, that's forgive me. But my journey started like a long time ago when I was a little kid. I was the indoctrinated religions like Lutheranism and Catholicism, and I just felt like there was something missing, and I couldn't find as so many of you said, like your community, your family. But my parents always pressured me just to go to church, blah, blah, blah. And so fast forward many years later, some things happened in my life. I had some traumas in my life when my grandfather died at when I was a very young age, and then my maternal grandmother died recently, and it was at her funeral that I collapsed. I was in tears. I collapsed, and I never understood why. But this is going to get to the aura part of it. A lot to share. Sorry. And then I didn't really discover Aurora until through my husband, who I later found out through Aurora was actually my twin flame. So he had been practicing a couple years before, and he had mentioned Aurora to me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But then I finally looked at her YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Maybe I'm called to do this. I don't know. So I started doing that. I had my first 2 sessions. First one was with Aurora. I was pregnant with my son, and it was very healing because I wanted to make sure he came in safely. And then my second session was with Alicia, and when I was pregnant with our daughter, because it had taken us about 9 years and nothing had happened. But I was told through one of my sister-in-law's aura sessions that there was this little soul waiting for me to heal, and that's when I knew I had to heal. So once I had done the healings in my children, who are beautiful little star seeds, and yeah, it's hard to explain. And the healing journey, I'm still on that journey. I'm still discovering stuff, but I just felt like I was in darkness for so long, and now I don't. And like many of you said, meeting Aurora in person is completely different. I'm trying to get my husband to go to one of these because he's done everything online. And it was actually through one of my aura sessions with my husband, because Aurora had said at the retreat in Siesta Keys that I just went to January, I think, when I got R.A.A.H and Aura certified, that my husband needed to do an aura session on me. And my background is I had seizures since I was 15. And it was through that, I never knew why it happened. But then I discovered, I went through this session, I had so much darkness, so much weight on my head. And once that was removed, once that came off, it was just like actually saw angels shooting up. They were like, yay, we finally got through to her. We finally got those things out of her head. I just felt so much lightness after that was done. It was amazing. I mean, and now from that, I've been able to help my mom clear some of her stuff. I've been able to help my children clear some of their stuff, and all of my family. And it brings me to tears every time I help them, because I know I'm helping the collective and the universe do what it needs to do to grow. And yeah. And getting back to my maternal grandmother, that's why these sessions are so nice, because like I said, I collapsed at her funeral and I didn't understand why. But through a session, I actually discovered that she and I were connected in a past life in Egypt, actually. And she was my parents in that lifetime had abandoned me, and she actually picked me up in a river and raised me in that lifetime. And so now I understood from that why I was so connected to her in this time and why I had collapsed. But that's one of the reasons why Reiki, for me, I feel like Reiki and aura are so beneficial to people, because if you feel like you have this heavy weight on your heart, your head, wherever, it's just so beneficial. And yes, it's some people may have doubts. I had fears the first time I did that, but once I did it, it's so healing. And yeah, it's just been a beautiful journey. I got A.U.R.A Aura certified in January in Siesta Keys, and then I went to the reunion in Eureka Springs recently, where I met Claire and Jeffrey. So thank you for hosting this roundtable. Yeah, it's been a beautiful. I've still got work to do, but I'm getting there, and I felt called to, like they said, this is my spiritual practice now. And I just recently put up my website. It's called Dragons of Love Light. I offer Reiki, aura sessions, house cleaning sessions. Yeah, I just offer those sessions on my website, and I just encourage anybody to just take a chance. Go forward, just take a chance, because you never know what you can heal in the process. So yeah, I've just enjoyed my journey, and yeah, now I have a beautiful family from it. So thank you for creating this roundtable, and that's all I got today.
Oh no, that's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
very
Thank you,
beautiful.
Megan. And your share always, you know, it was beautiful meeting you in person as well. And how you mentioned so many different family members that you have assisted, and also your children that have helped you to self-heal. And that is, so not everybody who becomes certified in Aura and Ra chooses to offer these as services. Many people choose to assist their family and friends, their loved ones, and it is just super activating to be able to do that. Now, I've had many clients that have come for an Aura, and they have been so activated after it. They were just like, wow. They then become certified, and then it's not because they wanted to do it as a job, just literally because
To help their families.
You know, and they couldn't believe how it made them feel. Like you say, the weights that I know. My first Aura session, when I stood up, I had a lot on me as well, and when I stood up, I felt as light as a feather, and I will never forget that feeling of standing up after my first Aura session. And I never realized I had been walking around with that energetic weight on me for 42 years. I never realized that I'd had that weight until it was lifted, and I thought I was literally going to fly. I honestly thought, my gosh, I'm going to fly in a minute. And it took me a while to get used to that energy, the new energy that we were. But yeah, so many people feel like that, that weight that's lifted. So thank you for your beautiful share. Thank you, Megan. Okay, Pascal, would you like to go next? And then it's Darla after.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for hosting this beautiful roundtable. I'm so excited. I am situated in South Africa. I am Aura and Ra certified for almost a year now. And I was able to open up a little house shop in our little remote area here in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so I found Aurora through my aura, actually, my aura healing arts. I wanted to heal sexual trauma and everything around that. And Aurora actually was on one of her YouTube videos she was hosting. And I was so amazed by her and the amount of love that she carried, because a lot of things these days are missing that love, especially religion and other things. And when I saw her, I was like, wow, she's just so full of love, and she's shining, and she's so strong. So I went on her YouTube channel, and the first video I watched was also Archangel's channeling, Archangel Ariel. And I was watching that YouTube video and I was crying because it spoke to my heart so profoundly. And she was talking about the animals. And I connect so deeply with animals. I absolutely love animals. And I have about 5 little animals at the moment. And Ariel was talking about the animals and what they actually do on this earth. And since then, I never looked back. I was like, yes, I need to watch the past life regressions. And when I saw the past life regressions and how they do the body scan and working with the entities, that amazed me so much, because no matter how far you go, how far gone you are in life, or how lost you are, you can always bring that spark of love back to you. You can always heal from the trauma. You can always, sometimes you just need somebody to spark that, or you do it yourself. And having that empowerment as well to know that you can self-heal from anything is just amazing, because nobody teaches you that in this lifetime. The educational system doesn't teach it to you. The doctors don't teach it to you. Sometimes your family members, if they're not that connected, don't teach it to you. And having one person to believe in you when there's nobody else around it's amazing. It's, you never look back from that, and you want to achieve that for yourself, and also activate others to remember that they can do that. So I decided within that same month to become A.U.R.A certified. And my biggest problem was the self-doubt. I think a lot of people have that problem. Self-doubt, working through the self-doubt and the self-worth was a journey. So I only actually started offering the A.U.R.A sessions this year. Yeah, and I'm going to be starting getting clients this year as well, because everything's within divine timing, and everything comes to you in the right time. So that was amazing, and I'm shaking. I'm so nervous. Yeah, and A.U.R.A, she's amazing. She's like that sister that you need, or that mother that you need, that best friend that you need, and she'll always encourage you. So I highly recommend getting certified through her and working with her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. No need to be nervous. Absolutely beautiful share. We feel your heart, and very activating. And I didn't realize you were in South Africa. That's pretty cool. And you say that you have a little health store, did you say?
Yeah, we opened up a little health store. We live 2 hours outside of outside of Cape Town. It's in the middle of a farm town, and it's actually the first health shop that opened up here.
That's cool. Yeah, lovely. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister. Thank you. And beautiful Darla.
Hi. Thank you for having me, Claire, and setting this up. So sweet. I'm a little bit new to video and Zoom and all that good stuff, so bear with me. I'll explain a little bit of my journey here. I've always been interested in spiritual growth, emotional growth, and in my early 20s I started to I left home for a retreat at 20 years old, for a spiritual retreat, and then continued staying into emotional growth, and continue that emotional growth, of course, throughout our lives, right? Isn't that what our lives are about? So that led me to doing a lot of coaching with friends and things of how to do journeys, and trying to get to the core of what's going on. But I always felt something wasn't there. There had to be a way to get deeper, and I was never attracted to hypnosis because I didn't want to tell people what to do. I wanted to heal that trauma. So life, is what it is. I started doing massage work, but then felt I was taking on people's headaches. I was taking on their stuff. And so I didn't know the proper shielding. So I kind of went into the corporate world, and then got married, had a family, and started raise my kids, and wanting to go back into the healing modalities. I would say I kind of woke up to a lot of stuff happening in our world in 2010, and also started a new journey of searching, maybe more spiritually searching in a different way, a little bit different than what I had. And that led me to, I knew that the corporate world didn't work for me. I actually tried it for a few months, and it was just I needed to do healing modalities. So I started a journey into healing with pets, and they really helped me. The dogs, the horses, the cats, they taught me how to dive into my heart. I mean, those horses are deep. And just really taught me how to expand my heart and open up to that. So that has been instrumental. So I was still looking for something, and I found A.U.R.A.'s teachings. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for all my life, and how to get into, how to heal this trauma, how to get down deep into the core of a person's issues. And so it's really been a remarkable. I took her classes in November, and I've had lot of success with helping so many people. It just came natural to me, maybe because of all my journey, my emotional growth, and my coaching, and helping friends into that. So yeah, I found that the the classes just helped me. Not only, I mean, it brought me to a whole nother level of protecting my family. I started doing the raw Reiki every day on shielding my family, my kids, my loved ones, even my dog, and just clearing, making sure everybody was clearing and protected throughout the day. And as I got stronger and stronger, I found that the magnitude, my sessions became strong. I was clearing people's, I was having all kinds of attachments coming to the people that I was giving sessions to, and clearing them, and just keeping just ones that wanted to positively polarize beings, just into were just coming to the session so that they could make that step and journey. So that was in the early stages of my well, I would say up to present, but um it's just been so fun. I mean, I through these classes, I've taken people on journeys to being burned at stake, journeying into Egypt, King Arthur, Queen Guinevere, angelic lives, spaceship experiences, and even, just current and childhood healings. It doesn't matter what you believe or what the clients believe. Their journey is just part of their imagination that takes them into that subconscious mind that they need to go to, and they need to heal and tap into whatever it is they need to clear, and they need to and they're ready for. So I've seen that I mean, it can be one huge life experience, or it can be multitude of healings that occur in a person, all these different aspects, and their journeys take them into um, uh, all their questions. I mean, you address almost most of their questions even before you know get to the Q&A session, I would say, because their journey takes them to answering those questions, because that's where they're meant to go. And A.U.R.A. is so incredible. I mean, her love is, like everybody's saying, is just magnificent. I haven't been to the retreat. I can't wait to go. But I have taken the online, and her love just comes through. She teaches us, she ensures everyone's protected. She ensures we're all guided. We all, I don't know. I did take the QHHT class, and so I am a QHT practitioner, and I just found it didn't give people the protection that they needed. Infringements could jump off, just like when I was doing massage work. They could jump off one person into me, if I wasn't protected. So and other ones could come in. It's just you take a client through this deep theta healing, and where they can be somnambulistic. I've had both conscious and somnambulistic clients, and they just go through their session whatever way is meant to for them. But having that protection just makes sure that we're all safe and we're all healed, and it's just so beautiful. And I've never been able to experience such incredible journeys in love from my clients. I mean, the that comes out of this is just, they're amazing souls, and they're amazing, subconscious higher self experience. Just is just the love that comes through is just so special. And I could have never imagined that when I started, many years ago, that I would be here now and doing this work, and finding my niche and finding my passion and my joy and my love. I mean, we use the assistance of archangels. They help, they assist us. We've helped people through souls journeying in the in-between life that have lost their way, beautiful souls. And just basically the core issue is, the core way that we help is by sending them love light. I mean, that's the core. Staying in love light and sending them, and in assistance from higher up to assist us, but staying in that frequency so that you don't allow yourself to drop down and drop into negativity. And A.U.R.A gives us the tools, the little bits and pieces, the candles, these little tools that assist us to be in that, and start that session. I've seen people heal through illnesses, diseases, discomfort, injuries. I mean, anything that the client is ready to heal. It's always what the client is ready for. It's never what I want them healed for. It's always what the client's ready for. And so it's super, super fun seeing, they always know that how special their journey was, and they always come out super grateful. And I'm sure they tell all you guys, you have a gift, and this is incredible. So it's really, really fun. And um I don't know, I'm not sure what else to say, but it is very unique, it's very deep. And I mean, I have sessions with one of, um, um, I've had sessions where Mother Mary comes through, and it's just really fun. And I would just totally suggest, if there's, whether or not you're wanting just to share with your family and your loved ones, and maybe your family, like mine, isn't ready for the aura, the deep hypnosis session. But maybe you can just do the raw on them and expand your gifts, and you're using your intuition to siphon out everything going on. Um, or maybe everybody's ready. It doesn't matter, because you're bringing them into, and you're learning things, and you're growing. And it's really been a lot of fun, and I am so grateful for all of you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do this. I'm so grateful for A.U.R.A, for her, beautiful leadership in this and this community. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate you.
Oh, beautiful, Darla. You explained aura and Ra perfectly. And wow, it sounds like you've been really busy, Darla. Already you've been really busy. That sounds cool. And just diving in, it's a wonderful world, isn't it? Once you start diving in, I absolutely love it. I love it. It's just fantastic when an aura, I mean, I do love raw Reiki and I do love the quantum gashic, but when someone books an aura, I'm just like, yes, I love it. I'm like a child.
But the R.A.H.s, when you explain to, especially with my friends and family, when you explain to them the difference between a R.A.A.H and an A.U.R.A, and they're, oh, I couldn't do an A.U.R.A, but as soon as you explain to them about the R.A.H s, you know, they just lay there, go to sleep if you want. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
So you know, the R.A.H really does. It's for those that are not quite ready, like you said.
Ready,
The R.A.H
yeah.
is just perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's we always say as well, because it is such a deep healing process. I'm pretty sure it's probably the deepest healing modality that there is out there, I would say personally. And so we do say and part of the aftercare is for everybody to be gentle with themselves, because it literally is an energetic, angelic surgery. that the clients are having. They're having so much that's been removed from them, like we explained about the lifting of that energy. And it's like where there's people, you know, that go to doctors, you know, they might go and they might have that physical surgery, but it's like for instance, somebody who has cancer, and we've had quite a few clients that have had cancer, and they've had certain the cancerous cells removed, but then what about the energy that is still there? So that has been, you know, they've had that physical part removed, but there's always the energy. And then what, you know, we've had clients where they've actually had they've had cancer return back, and they're not understanding why it's come back, and that's because the energy and the emotion that they still haven't healed from that trauma that caused that cancer in the first place, have they? So just understanding that it is actually a very, very deep healing modality.
Mind, body, and soul, isn't it?
Mind,
It's
body,
all
and
of them that
soul.
need to be healed, isn't it?
And also assisting all those, like Darla said, the positive polarization of many of our brethren, many of our, you know, the reptilians, which I know a lot of people are in fear about, you know, if thinking that there are entities within us. However, it really is, once you realize that that is correct and you feel those entities within you, you realize that you know, this is what's been holding you back much of the time, because they've been programming and keeping you on a lower timeline. So once those energies are lifted and we've assisted those, when they feel our love, the, you know, the reptilians or negatively polarized entities, once they become positively polarized and hear their journey, it is so activating, isn't it, when they can actually be positively polarized once more. It's just fantastic. And then obviously assisting the clients and assisting our family. So I hope that everybody, thank you for your share, Darla. It was absolutely fantastic. Thank you to everyone. Did anyone else want to share anything before we go? I think everybody who is offering services has mentioned this, you know, where to find them at, and I will put all the details in everybody's information in the details. Does anyone else want to share anything else? Are we all good?
I just wanted to touch on about the aftercare, because obviously having a very active life but very toxic and being very infringed. So when I had my first healing session, my aura, it was so much was removed. And when I came out of it, and Claire, you was touching on it as well about how light you feel, but the importance of them, like the 2 weeks or 13 days aftercare, I came out of that with so much energy. Even though I've been so physical, I realized that, you know, majority of my energy was being sucked and harvested. But I was just had so much energy. I wanted to do so much coming out of the healing session. I wasn't listening to what the practitioner was telling me about the aftercare. And, you know, I can be knocked about quite hard. So my team did click my neck out deliberately so that I couldn't exercise, couldn't do anything. I was going to train all day long for the 2 weeks. And then it's only like towards the end of the 2 weeks I realized why, because the amount of physical stuff I was going to do, because I had so much energy, would have interfered with the aftercare. Like Claire said, I'd just come out of an energetic surgery. I needed to rest, not take that energy that was required to help me heal and pump it out and do stuff. So I just wanted to share that. So how the team worked, you know, they did it in a nice way, but I was just very uncomfortable for a couple of weeks, but it stopped me from hurting myself even more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And just finally, I want to share about being able to, when you learn Aurora's teachings, the channeling, I mean, connecting in with different benevolent archangels and beings, ascended masters, is just, you know, super activating. You find out so much more about yourself. You can connect in with them, and they are here to assist you. They are here to assist us, and just being able to call on them. So actually, they just become your friend. You like just start chatting away with them. and I know these teachings have assisted me to be able to have that confidence to be able to connect in fully and channel beings, because before I was always wary of channeling, because you don't know who you're channeling, whereas Aurora teaches you how to safely channel. There are so many channelers out there that perhaps don't have shielding, don't have protection, and do they know who they are channeling? Whereas you do know when you are certified in Aurora's teaching, where you learn how to channel, you have all the tools.
Yeah,
Don't you?
because I got caught out a couple of times doing different modalities with very close friends, and they're really nice people. You know, they're not nasty, but they wasn't shielding, and I got caught out from taking on their energies, which had to be cleared by Aurora. You know, not intentionally from them, but yeah,
Yeah,
so you have to be very, very careful, because people are just so unaware that, like you said, and you realize throughout your day-to-day life, not just doing different energy modalities, you're going into these contracts with these energy exchanges without realizing you're not taking on other people's karma and their pains and darkness, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sophia's garden. Latoya, did you want to share?
I did. I just wanted, and you started touching upon it, with the importance of learning to shield, because in my journey, kind of going back, as I was progressing and feeling better and getting lighter, because I wasn't shielded and I wasn't shielding, more importantly, I wasn't shielding properly. I was so open, as many others are, and you do take on those infringements. And so I just wanted to mention that, and thank you for mentioning it. The importance of, part of what we learn in the teachings is learning to shield ourselves, is learning to shield our families, is learning to shield our pets, and without overstepping any boundaries, of course, and without harming none. There are a lot of well-intentioned people, but because of the entities that they have attached, you get those as well. And so to believe that shielding is not important, that in itself is an indicator that there's some healing that needs to be done. And until we can go back to the root of where all that trauma began, we truly cannot heal our vessels and be completely clear. And so I just wanted to mention that, because of the amount of other modalities that are all, of course, energy healing modalities. But with that being the case, if they're not teaching you to properly shield, and if the practitioner that you are engaging, if they are not a clear vessel, then understand that you're now open to whatever it is that they have. And so I know on my journey, I was infringed upon as I was awakening, and I didn't understand what the infringement looked like, but I understood physically the symptoms I felt, which was the tiredness, which was doubting myself, which was questioning, my confidence within me, knowing that I knew that I didn't, that wasn't me. I didn't have to question whether or not I was good enough. I knew I was good enough, but because those questions started to come in. So I guess the only thing that I really wanted to just bring out in awareness is understanding that when you feel those things about yourself and you start to question your self-worth and your self-validation, that lets you know there. It's like, ding, ding, ding. We have some work we need to do. And there's so many, again, with Aurora's teachings, as well as with all of the practitioners. So that was what I meant to share earlier that I didn't.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Yes. Nu, would you like to share?
Yes, I just want to add two things. So completely resonate with what Latoya just shared. But I will also say that when I do the shielding is I get so much energy because it's love light all around me. So right now I'm doing it every single day, and it's not coming out of fear or anything. I just like to feel lighter and feel a lot of love and energy is coming in. It's is such a great way for me to start my day. And then as I'm practicing the shielding, it becomes much more alive. It becomes more 3D, more colorful, and it's very multi-layered, just like anything else. Everything is so connected. And because of the shielding, I was able to connect with the archangel, a stronger connection with the archangel, which before, whom before I didn't have any knowledge about, because where I'm come from. But now they come, they show me with the sign and the symbol. So it's exactly how it's unfold, like the teaching was that we were able to receive. So just want to add that.
Yeah, thank you, sister. And they also if they have any like organic benevolent, if they have like a message to share to us, they, of course, the archangels, they can't share that message with us if we're not a clear vessel. Mainly they can't share that. So if we have some kind of soul missions that we're doing and there's some sacred knowledge that they want to share, unless you're clear, they're not going to be able to share that with you. Once you're a clear vessel, once you're shielded and protected, then the information comes in.
Oh yeah,
Thick and fast.
Yeah.
But in the most benevolent way, that the they obviously they'll start, the downloads, the leveling up. They're just like, it's so many activations, and it's like, okay, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. So thank you everyone
Yes.
for joining us today. Very heart activating. My third eye has just like been booming the whole time. Very activating. I think we've all been doing all our higher selves have been doing work
Very
on this
busy,
together, haven't they?
Yeah.
So thank you, and thank you for everybody for listening.
It's an honor to meet you all.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
yeah, thanks for everyone for listening, and I hope that you've enjoyed listening to everybody's experiences. Thank you. We love, honor, and respect you. Veluvia.